Hello and welcome to That Fire FM TV. I'm your host, Unique Shalon. And first off, we'd like to thank our listeners, viewers, and supporters. We really appreciate you getting into the fire with us. Well, without further ado, we have on today's show no other than Mr. Wyatt. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. First off, can you tell our listeners, where are you from?
I'm from Marietta, Georgia, which is a suburb right northwest of Atlanta.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I spent a lot of my time. I spent about 11 years in Miami, Florida as well, so I've got a lot of roots there as well. But I'm actually back in, close to Atlanta, Georgia right now. So. Okay,
that's awesome. So can you walk us through your journey of becoming a producer into music? Walk us through it.
Yeah, essentially, when I was just getting into high school, I had two really good friends that both played instruments. One of them played guitar, and one of them played drums. And I wanted them. I've always been a connector, so I wanted to get them playing in a band together or something, And so I asked, I tried linking them up. And they needed a bass player. So my brother had a bass guitar at the time. He's not really musical. He's just always dabbled in things. And so I stole his bass guitar from him and I started playing with my buddies. Then I wanted to learn how to sing because I kind of naturally picked up the bass. It was pretty easy for me to kind of just pick up and start playing. But the voice was a little bit harder for me. So I actually joined like chorus at school. Mm-hmm. I ended up being in the honors chorus, and then I actually studied opera in college for my first year and a half in college. But while I was doing that, even in high school, I would do all these funny recordings and make these kind of songs, and we put out some music as our high school band and stuff like that, where I had produced some of the tracks. But then when I went to college for opera. I got a MacBook Pro to go to college and had Logic Pro on my computer, and I spent more time bringing different vocalists back to my dorm room and recording them and making music, and that's kind of how I spawned in as a producer. And then from that journey, I just kind of doubled down and I just fell in love with making records, and I ended up traveling around for a little bit after I stopped going to school for a little bit. For about 2 years, I was in college at first. And I left school and I just was pursuing music. And I found myself in Miami, Florida with one of my good friends down there. And we started a project called Telekinetic Walrus. It was kind of like a psychedelic party band that we used to tour around the whole country with. And we did that for about 8 or 9 years. I used to tour around the whole country with that project, and I was producing all the records for the project. Multi-instrumentalist. Over the years I picked up all sorts of fun instruments. I love getting my hands on things and experimenting. And since then I moved back to Atlanta, and I still do some passion projects like that as well. Me and my girl Korean Stevie, one of my closest friends, we kept doing a hip hop project called Unfollow Me, but I've been doing a lot of sync music lately, so music for sync licensing. So now I kind of dabble in all sorts of different genres. Keep true to my roots. I do a lot of hip hop and electronic stuff, but then I also make Latin music and some pop and electro type stuff as well. So that's kind of where it started to where I am now. And I actually work in the MI space as well. So I work for a headphone company called III. But I've worked for all sorts of different music manufacturers. I became an Ableton certified trainer in 2013. So I get to teach all sorts of people how to make music, from, kids that are in need and maybe not in the best situations, to famous people like Ludacris and Juanes and stuff like that. So, so I've been in the MI space. I'm a tech geek at its finest, but I'm a producer. I love making records, and I love collaborating with all sorts of different types of people.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, wow, you've done so much. I
Yeah,
wanted to know, since you've done all of this producing, you've toured, you've did a little bit of everything. What has been one of your proudest or your most memorable accomplishments so far?
Oof. I guess accomplishment-wise, I mean, we had a very deep fan base when we used to tour around the country with Telekinetic Walrus, and that was some of my most, probably some of my proudest moments was when we'd go to, all these crazy cities that I didn't live in or anything, and we had huge crowds and, playing big festivals and stuff like that. That was definitely some of my more proud moments. When I became Ableton certified, that was a really big deal for me as well, and that kind of spawned me into my career in the MI space, which I still have today. And then just recently, I had a really big moment where I got 2 tracks on a Netflix series on Temptation Island, and that was a pretty proud moment for
Congratulations.
me as well. Thank you.
So, what are some of your production software or equipment that you just cannot live without?
Well, like I mentioned, I'm an Ableton certified trainer, so my DAW of choice is Ableton Live. It has been since about 2008.
Okay.
And so Ableton is my instrument. That's like, I couldn't live without Ableton. I mean, I'm sure I could if I had to, but once I switched, I've never looked back. And as far as like tools in the studio and stuff like that, instrument-wise, I'd say 3 of my favorite instruments right now. One is actually the Telepathic Instruments Orchid. It's a new chord machine. They call it like a synth, but it's kind of this all-in-one small little keyboard that makes it really easy to play chords. But Kevin Parker, the guy behind Tame Impala, is like the brainchild behind the instrument, and he actually worked with another Ableton certified trainer named Tom Cosm to develop the instrument. And then one of my favorite synthesizers I have two favorite synths in my studio, and that's the Arturia Polybrute 12. I worked for Arturia for about 4 years, and that's like their flagship synthesizer. It's got 12 analog oscillators inside of it, 12 voices of analog oscillators, and it's just kind of a crazy sound machine. It's got MPE keybed, ribbon controller, and then it has this, like, they call it a Morphe, but essentially it's like an XYZ control touchpad. And then I'd say my Sub 37 is my other favorite synth in the studio, and really just because that was the board that I used to tour with, and so I've probably spent more time on that instrument than any of the very numerous synthesizers I have in my studio. I think I sent y'all a photo. My studio is a little crazy with synthesizers.
I heard it was absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So I'd say those are probably 3 of my favorite instruments in my studio, but I definitely have a lot more. I love experimenting. It's kind of one of my favorite things about creating is trying different pieces of gear, using them to make different sounds. Even different pieces of equipment, can kind of transport you to certain eras or certain sounds in music. So I use them as tools very often to kind of, make a specific sound for a certain project or a certain brief I'm writing to.
Okay. I want to know who or what has inspired you so far?
Just artist-wise or anything? I mean,
anybody. It could have been like someone in your family or someone you came across that has inspired you.
Man, I try to get inspiration daily. My girl always tells me that there's never a dull moment with me. I like to go out and do things. I like to adventure. I love going to see live music. I always have. I love getting in nature. I love getting in the water. Get me out. And here in Atlanta, we go to the river because it's basically what's close to Chattahoochee River. We go north a little bit so you don't get the pollution of the city so much. But anytime I'm in Miami, we try to get to the beach, and anytime I travel anywhere, I always try to find somewhere beautiful to be. But as far as like artist-wise, I have so many different influences throughout the years. when I was younger, I'm from Atlanta. Outkast is a huge inspiration of mine. Missy Elliott, she actually has a house down the street from me. I've been a huge Missy fan. MIA. I got into like Caspa and Rusko, which is like some of the origins of like some of the early dubstep stuff before it got so chainsaw-y and it was a little bit more like reggae inspired and stuff like that. But nowadays, I've been liking all sorts of stuff. I just got back from the A$AP Rocky concert yesterday. I like Denzel Curry and Tia Kareen. Those are some like underground hip hop guys and girls. And I mentioned Tame Impala. Love stuff like that. And then I love a lot of Latin stuff. So I've been listening to, Bad Bunny seems to be the king, but like I love Rosalia and Tokisha and all sorts of different artists like that. So.
That's awesome. This is getting good, but we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with that Fire FM TV.
On my light skin hustle. Free the wave. Get with it. Hey,
yo! She want the stress to get off of her. I only want the best thing for her. She know I got a whole lot to offer her. Everything will be alright. She want the stress to get off of her. I only want the best thing for her. She know I got a whole lot to offer her.
Talking to you. You see, I am here for your rescue. You want a house or a home, I'm here for your refuge. I drive this truck and I rap, a big spitter, working towards 6 figures. Nah, I ain't no rich hitter, nah. Well, I'm getting that out the way. If you ain't feeling me, that's cool, you can go on about your day. But if you stay, I can obviously make it better. I saved enough bread, I can modestly change the weather. I'm never stingy with the paper, and I'm making plans in different places I can take you. I'm out to the city for a spell. You got things on your mind and you're stressing, I can tell this medicine to do you well. Well then what you say for the weekend? You ain't available, what you say for the evening? Well listen here, I'm talking light, and if you're loyal then I'm spending never ending talking life. Stare me.
She want the stress to get off of her. I only want the best thing for her. She know I got a whole lot to offer her. Everything will be alright.
You know where I'm at with it, baby.
She want the stress to get off of her.
Come on, let me tell
you. I only want the best thing for her.
She know what's best for you, baby. What? You don't wanna be with your man? You know the time, you got a watch on your wrist, phone in your hand. You know I got more lows than the van, and if you fall I carry you. You see that's my toes in the sand. Oh, you don't get it, do you? I'm the best with finesse, how should I put it to you? Anytime or any day, we can play, it's no game, I'm involved, I'm here to stay. Why would I dead her for? She got a set of soup coolers, know what she's heading for. I know that's witty, you look pretty in pink. You look so good and for real I can't even think. Hit the gym, we can let our energy sink. I'm trying to go back to my 6-pack so you could drink. He ain't got it, well shorty, that's not you. I relieve that problem, little girlie, I got you.
She want the stress to get off of her. I only want the best thing for her. She know I got a whole lot to offer her. Everything will be alright. She want the stress to get off of her. I only want the best thing for her. She know I got a whole lot to offer her.
Sometimes we think we have all the answers. This year, this is not the case. I really don't understand. Rest in peace, Taj. Rest in peace, JB. Rest in peace, Brenda Godson. Yeah.
I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. It's too many people dying, gotta keep living. It's too many people dying, gotta keep living. It's too many people dying, gotta keep living. by yourself and contemplate about life. Think about your past and present, what your future is like. Set some goals and some plans, put them all into action. I guarantee that will give you mental satisfaction. Times is rough, survival is key. Life as we know it changed, now it's all about unity. What can you give back to stimulate your community? Vulnerability is high, there's no such immunity. R.I.P. Fred, hip-hop lost another great. Not by hands of another, my brother couldn't ventilate. Would never say I can relate. I couldn't imagine how he felt before the Lord sealed his fate. Wait, too young to die, didn't drink or get high. Just a family guy, that's why I ask why. It's not fair how this life goes, and the scary part about it, only God knows for sure. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. It's too many people dying, gotta 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 keep living. My daughter's mom passed away, that was beyond my belief. I'm so numb to these deaths, I don't know how to grieve. She was proud to have my kid, just wanted things to be right. Taught my daughter independence, her light shines bright. She's the better part to me, I missed a lot of time. I thank God for forgiveness, could have been more behind. Haven't been the best father, but I wanted to be. Wish we focused on the kids instead of being angry. Cause at the end of it all, we still suffer the loss. All the time that wasn't spent was the debt of it all. If I lived in regret, I would live upset. So I focus on the goods, but I continue to rap. Step by step, I'm taking it all in stride. My diary is my music, there's nothing to hide. If I die, my story's built inside of the waves like the hieroglyphics as I continue to fly high. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. It's too many people dying, gotta 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 keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. I'm doing what I gotta do to keep living. It's too many people dying, gotta 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 keep living.
And we're back with that Fire FM TV. I am your host, Unique Shalon, and I'm here with Wyatt. Let's get back into it. So how do you balance your producing with your, just regular life balance? How do you, with scheduling music, how do you balance life?
Yeah, so I actually just started a full-time position at this headphone company at the beginning of May.
Okay.
But before that, I've basically been a contractor most of my life. So I typically do have contracts with companies and I'm doing work, but I typically set my own schedule. So for the past, at least 4 years, I was working for this one company, Arturia, and then I was setting my own schedule, but I would be traveling at least once a month and that sort of stuff. So it was actually, it was more about just like trying to line my schedule up with other people. And then, I like to make music in the evening time. It's always kind of been my favorite time to make music. Although I will make music at any time of the day if I can. But now that I'm working full time with this company, I actually do work remote. I work from my studio. But honestly, I work Monday to Friday for the company, and I'm done around 6 o'clock. And then I typically take a little break, and then I typically get back up and start making some music. And I fill my evenings with music. That's kind of how I balance it out. And then weekends I try to book some longer sessions with other artists and stuff like that, and I fit it in when I can, but I do my best to try to make music at least every day, or at the very least 5 days a week.
That's awesome. So what lessons have you learned as a producer that you think every producer should know?
I'd say as a producer, I've just learned that working with different creatives, everybody is different. There are like different kind of like categories or like types of musicians where you'll see some things kind of reappear that you may have worked with a similar type of person before, but all creatives have their own isms and have their own special thing, and obviously the fit has to be there. You have to meld with the people, but also I think it's more importantly about as a producer kind of catering to those people's thing, and how they work, because everyone does work a little bit different. Some people are quicker, some people are slower, some people have a process you may have not experienced before that makes them comfortable, but really just trying to make the people you're creating with feel comfortable and feel at home is something that I feel I've prided myself in doing pretty well, and something I enjoy, because you can really get the best part about working with other people is it's not you. You're going to get something completely different than maybe you're used to. So I thrive off that. I love working with different people, different types of people, different genres of people, and what music they make. Like, I just love that, and I guess just being able to work with different types of people, being patient, that sort of stuff is probably what I've learned a lot about being a producer.
That's
that I think is
awesome. So what's up for you, or what's next for 2026? What are you working on?
Quite a bit, actually. I have 2 different records coming out in my sync library. I'll see if they come out publicly or not. But I have a couple of records coming out. One with this guy in Italy. We make kind of like electronic pop music, and then I have a more like hip hop derived kind of positive EP coming out with this guy in Miami named Kimmy. And then Tashani and I actually have been working quite a bit in the studio. We have a good 3 albums that we're kind of in the midst of. One of them we're closer to wrapping up than the other 2. But yeah, we've been working really hard. So those are 3 of the projects that come to mind. And then I also have actually one more EP with the guy TC in the Mix, who is the guy I got the 2 placements with on Netflix, and we have a new EP that we are wrapping up the last song on, hopefully in this next month. So that's what's like here in my immediate to-do list. But I've got all sorts of loose projects that I'm still working on with people that will probably see the light of day. I'm sure I'll get at least an extra 4 or 5 projects done, other than those that I mentioned this year. So that's what I'm grinding on.
Okay, sounds like you're busy, which is
I
good.
try to be. Yeah.
So I would like to know, what does music mean to you beyond the entertainment?
I mean, it's the lifeblood. Music is life. I feel like music really makes life everything. It can be there for you for the good, the bad, the hard, the ups, the downs. I mean, it's really just, without music, I don't feel that life would be as interesting. And I think just looking back on history and stuff stuff like that, you can tell that it's been a very important part of life for many generations.
So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Hopefully a lot more placements getting made in the sync space. I would assume I'll be in even bigger and better position in my job, and would love to be getting on stages a little bit more than I have been in the past year or so. I was DJing as a resident DJ downtown for a few years, but lately I've been just more in the studio. So I'd love to hit the stage as well. I think I can see that happening as well. It'll just have to take a little bit of time and get the right project going and get the music ready to perform live. But I'd say about those three things.
Okay, and where can our viewers find your music?
You can find it every single place that you can find any, streaming music. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. My Instagram handle is at PRPL_NRG. And then you can find everything if you go to my website as well, which is PRPLNRG.com. If you look up that same moniker, PRPL space NRG, on any of your music sources, you can find me, or on YouTube. And on my website, you can find links to all of those old projects I talked about, like Telekinetic Walrus or Follow Me. I used to go by the moniker of Y Diz, which was Y space DIZ, and that was when I was producing the band. That was kind of my moniker in the band. So I used to get booked a lot to do solo shows as that as well, as I was kind of doing underground electronic music and stuff back in the day. So a lot of that is still available. You can find all those records online. But yeah, I'd say just tap in with me on my Instagram, and you can find links to all my stuff, or go to my website.
Yes, please do. So is there any merch? Do you have any merchandise?
Yeah, if you go on my website, I do have a little bit of merchandise. You can just go to my shop on there, and I think there's a separate shop on there for the side project on Follow Me that I have with my longtime friend Corinne Stevie. So you can find some different swags options on the site.
Okay, sounds good. And what legacy do you hope to leave in the music industry?
Man, I guess I just really pride myself on my ability to create with different people, and so I'd love to just make some badass records that really just resonate with people. So hopefully just making more great music and getting to make cool better and better projects that resonate with more and more people.
This is awesome. I have really enjoyed you. But this is our show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to that Fire FM TV. Thank you, Wyatt. And I'm your host, Unique Shalon, and we are out. Peace.